Welcome to Sheikh Hamdan's official channel, where stories are not just told, but felt deeply within the soul. Tonight, we uncover a truth the world rarely sees, a side of royalty hidden behind every composed smile and graceful word. This is not a tale of power or glory, it is a story of emotion, vulnerability, and the silent strength of a man who carries the world's expectations on his shoulders. This is the hidden tears of Sheikh Hamdan, a royal heart exposed. Prepare to see beyond the crown, beyond the poetry, and into the heart of a man who feels as deeply as he leads. There are moments when the world looks at Sheikh Hamdan and sees perfection, his confidence, his compassion, his eloquence. But what many forget is that even kings in waiting are human, and even the strongest hearts bleed in silence. Behind those iconic photographs and dazzling events lies a world that few could imagine, a world of quiet pain, of unspoken battles, and of tears that never reach the public eye. Those close to him say that his silence is not coldness, but protection of emotions too sacred for the stage. Each day, he carries the weight of a kingdom, yet each night, he carries the weight of his heart. When the palace lights dim and the desert falls quiet, he becomes not the crown prince of Dubai, but a man who reflects, remembers, and sometimes breaks. The world sees his leadership, but it doesn't see the moments when he looks out at the horizon, his eyes shimmering with thoughts he never dares to share. They don't see the poetry he writes at midnight or the letters he never sends. Those are his hidden tears, the kind that never fall, yet never stop flowing within. Sheikh Hamdan's hidden tears are not a sign of weakness, they are proof of his depth. They come from a heart that loves too deeply, feels too strongly, and carries too many souls within it. He cries not only for his own pain, but for the suffering of others, the poor, the forgotten, the ones who reach out to him through messages he never ignores. He once said, "A leader who does not feel cannot heal." Those words reveal everything about the man behind the title, a leader whose empathy sometimes leaves scars unseen by the world. But among those hidden tears lies a personal story, a heartbreak that shaped him. There was once someone who touched his heart beyond words, a woman whose presence lit up the parts of him even the sun couldn't reach. She was not drawn to his status but to his soul, and for a while, he allowed himself to be seen, not as a royal, but as a man in love. Yet life within the palace is rarely kind to such love stories. Bound by tradition, burdened by duty, he had to choose the kingdom over the connection that once gave him peace. The day she left, something inside him quietly shattered. Since then, those who observe him closely notice moments when his gaze drifts into the distance during official events, or when his laughter fades too quickly. It is in those brief silences that his hidden tears speak the loudest. They are not tears of regret, but of remembrance, of what it means to give up something precious for something greater. The world calls it sacrifice, he calls it responsibility. And though he wears it with grace, the cost is written in his poetry, disguised behind metaphors of oceans and storms. In the solitude of his study, he often sits surrounded by his journals, each one filled with fragments of his heart. Lines like, "The world applauds, but my heart mourns in rhythm," and "I lead in daylight but grieve in stars," reveal a truth he never voices aloud. These writings are his release, the ink that carries the tears he never shows. His poetry is not just art, it is confession. Every stanza is a bridge between the man he must be and the man he truly is. Even his closest advisors sometimes find him in the palace courtyard at dawn, watching the first light touch the desert. They say that's when he is most at peace, and most vulnerable. The cool wind carries with it memories, whispers, and promises once made. He speaks little at those moments, yet the silence says everything. Those early hours are his sanctuary, the place where his tears dry before the world wakes to see him as flawless again. There is something profoundly beautiful about how Sheikh Hamdan carries his pain. He never lets it darken his kindness or cloud his leadership.
And so, the legend of Fazza continues, not as a tale of royalty, but as a hymn of resilience. The tears beneath the falcon's wings no longer fall, they rise. They rise as light, as faith, as the unspoken promise that every wound can become wisdom. Sheikh Hamdan's untold heart is no longer a secret, it is a story written in silence, lived through grace, and shared with love. The world sees a prince, but the heavens see something far greater, a soul that learned to fly again after it wept. His heart beats for the unseen, the unheard, the forgotten. Every tear he has shed has built him into the man he was meant to be, a poet with a crown, a king with compassion, a soul that refuses to grow cold. The wind still whispers his name, not as a monarch, but as a man who loved fearlessly and lived truthfully. Beneath the falcon's wings, his tears fall into eternity, where pain and poetry become one. And when the world looks up at him, they see not just a prince, but a reminder that even in the highest skies, hearts still break, dreams still bleed, and love still reigns. Sheikh Hamdan's untold heart is not hidden, it is alive in every verse, every glance, every act of quiet kindness. The falcon continues to fly, its wings wet with tears that once fell from heaven's most human prince. The desert, his oldest confidant, greets him differently now. It no longer feels like a mirror of emptiness, but a reflection of eternity. The wind that once carried his sorrow now carries his song, a song of endurance, love, and rebirth. Even the falcons that fly beside him seem to glide with greater ease, their wings untouched by burden. For he has learned that when one releases pain, everything around begins to soar higher. His heart, once heavy with untold tears, now beats in rhythm with the infinite sky. His story is not finished, it continues in the hearts of those who write, love, and live with authenticity. Fazza's life was a poem still unfolding, one that teaches that even kings bow before the rhythm of love, and even crowns gleam brighter when polished by compassion. His legacy is not in monuments or medals, but in moments, those fleeting, eternal seconds when the soul recognizes itself in another. Those who have been close to him say there are certain nights when he cannot sleep. The palace feels too quiet, the walls too heavy with memories. He walks the hallways barefoot, alone, seeking solace in the rhythm of his own heartbeat. Some say they've seen him stop by the balcony, eyes glistening as if speaking to someone no longer there. Maybe he's talking to the past. Maybe he's talking to himself.